Alright, hey guys, and welcome back. Today I just wanted to make a kind of a quick guide on how to get started with your character. So this is actually the most basic guide I would say that you could probably find anywhere online if you look it up on Marvel Future Fight. This is just my version of it on how to upgrade and advance your character. And the reason I'm making this is because I'm running an alliance as well, and I've got a lot of new members who come in. So I'll just show you guys my alliance. This is it. We call ourselves Sitarak Lords. A little bit cheesy, I know, but for those of you Marvel fans who know who the Sitarak is, you will probably understand what the name means. So anyway, there are a lot of new members that I'm getting these days, and they are often asking, "What do I do with my character? I'm new to the game. Who do I pick? How do I grow my character?" And it's often such that you have to go to the guide. You can go to character growth, and this is the most comprehensive way of understanding how ranking up works, how mastery works, and then what to do to get a tier 2 advancement. But there are so many other bits and pieces like ISO-8s, custom gears, comic cards. It could seem really overwhelming at first. So I'm just going to quickly explain to you top down. When you go to your characters, you can click team in the home page. You could also click the menu up here and click team. You will arrive around at the same destination basically, and then you'll have to start off with a character that is of a low like 1 star character, a low rank, a character that you unlock by playing a story mission. It could be from a bio selector, it could even be a premium bio selector character. There are lots of ways to obtain them. So once you have obtained your character, you start off at a 1 star, and then you need to rank them up. So ranking up your character can be done in many ways. You can get their biometrics. They can be acquired in different means. Once you've acquired those biometrics, you can just click the gold and it will allow you to rank it up to 2 stars. So what happens when you rank up your character is you can go to your skills tab, and you will notice that you will have 2 starting skills, and the rest of these are unlocked. And you can see in the red text it says you require level 3 star character to get this skill. So this is basically the number of stars you need on your character to get the skills up. So let me tell you, do not work on 2 different characters at once. As much as possible, try to get one character up to 6 stars and then move on to the next. It is okay if you do not gear your characters fully. It's okay if you do not put your ISOs or anything like that. But let's get one character up to 6 stars, level 60, and then move on to the next character. The only scenario where you want to work on 2 characters at once, like I'm doing with Kamala and Hydro Man, is when their biometrics are obtained in different means, right? So sometimes what I do is, like for Kamala Khan, I need to play Shadowland. I get the biometric selector, or maybe it's a daily login event. And once I've got sufficient biometrics for them, I try to rank them up whenever possible, because I know that I don't plan to use a rank up ticket on some of these characters. And what is a rank up ticket? So that's also a question that some people ask. So sometimes you will be able to get a rank up ticket either by purchasing it from the store, or a daily login, or a special event. What you can do is click rank up, and you'll see the option to use your rank up ticket, and then you can select your rank up ticket, and when you apply it, it will basically rank up the character accordingly. So there are a few different types of rank up tickets. I don't have all of them to show, but I can show you one example. This one is called a 4-star rank up ticket. So what it essentially does is it allows you to use it on a 3-star character to make them a 4-star character. So there's one for like every single rank upgrade. There's 2 star, there's a 3-star, 4, 5, and 6, and they're just known as rank up ticket. That's it. There's another unique one which is known as a mega rank up ticket. Whenever you see this word mega, it allows you to skip a few steps. And what I mean by that is, instead of needing to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3-star, 4 to 5 and 6 and such like that, you can just skip straight to getting a 6-star character by using this. This works similarly for the mastery ticket. So this one helps me go from 5-star to 6-star mastery, whereas this one instantly gives me a 6-star mastery, as it says. So this is actually really straightforward because it's written there. But if some of you are still not clear because you're new and you're getting all of these random tickets and you don't know what they are, well, there you go. So once you've got your characters up to 6 stars rank, you can start leveling them up. How to level these characters up? So some people, what they do is they try to level them up when they are like in 2 or 3 stars. This is really difficult because what happens is essentially you're going to get capped at a certain level, right? Like the maximum you could go is 45 at a specific star, and the next star it'll maybe say 55. So you could get capped, and when you get capped it's going to be really frustrating because let me tell you, leveling up is not as difficult as getting biometrics. So this is the way I see it overall. And as for some people, they'll think that, what? No, leveling up is so difficult. I can't seem to get my level 55 character to level 60. Well, that is true in some cases. Getting a character from 55 to higher levels can be pretty harsh sometimes because your mission just doesn't give you enough XP. So there are shortcuts to this. What you can do is go to the level, click the plus icon, and you can use these things called level XP chips. And essentially the levels written here, 5 4 3 2 1, is just a dependent. It just says how much XP they give. It doesn't really matter. The level is not really important. You can see down here XP gain. So this XP gain means that obviously the higher level the chip, the more XP they give. So level 5 chips give you 30,000, level 2 chips give you like 360. So you could just apply these and they will give you a percentage of increase. I have enough level 5 XP chips to instantly max level a character. So if you want to use this shortcut method, it's very simple. All you have to do to get these XP chips is go to your daily mission and every day run the golden XP chip mission at the max level possible, and you will get these. And let me just tell you that for my advice on daily mission, I always just advise people to just run the golden XP chip. There's no reason to run this or this unless you're specifically looking for, like M crown shards, which are so easy to obtain from the X-Men Epic Quest. And then Iso-8 and non-stones that can be acquired in so many other ways. So golden XP chips are really valuable, especially for new players. So this is the best way. Just play this mission twice a day, and once you've cleared them, you could just instant clear them with tickets. If you want to go ahead and do that, go ahead. They give you a lot of gold, but I think about 500,000 gold per day, and quite a bit of XP chips. So it's a great way to make sure that you will always have a good amount of XP chips should you hit a difficult point in leveling up your character. So now that I know that, I don't want to farm my character anymore because it's getting too difficult. I just want to boost them up to 60. I could just pump whatever's left of the XP chips. So when you do this, you also have to take note that your leveling up of a character when you spend XP chips can be boosted by specific things such as your agent level and your alliance level. So let's say I were to put 736, so it says 5%, right? When I use this, you will get this EXP increased due to alliance. So it's so quickly flashing that you can't really tell. But notice how I got 6% instead of 5. So that means it has been boosted. So similarly, if I were to use level 5 XP chips, of course I can get it to 60, but don't. Just pump it until it's like 59, and then more than often your alliance XP will allow you to give it like a major boost, and you could go to maybe like halfway through, like 59 and 50%, or even 60 all the way. It's very possible depending on your alliance level. So yes, alliances do matter in this game. You have to be part of an alliance and you get such a really amazing boost. And I can give you an example. These are the alliance bonuses at level 30. 20% increase is really, really big. 14% of all these may seem like not really much, but they really help you because you'll get to roll your cards, your comic cards, in a different way so you can max your stats. I'll come to that in another episode. So I'm just going to go ahead and focus more on the character's development. So you've got your 6-star character. You managed to get them to level 60. And then what? So once you have a level 60 character, let me just find a better example. Yeah, so let's just say you have a level 60 character. Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your skills are leveled up properly. And what I mean by this is leveling up skills are not cheap. They cost you quite a bit of gold as you go to higher levels. If you go to like level 6, they cost a lot of gold. So what you want to do is you want to look for skills that have stats like these, right? Ignore dodge, 100%, 100% chance. So some of these, like 3 seconds, some of these durations get increased when you upgrade the skill. Normally, you notice that the damage of the skill gets improved, but try to look for skills where the skills actually boost the percentage. So let me just look for one, see if I can find whether I have any characters left that still have skills that can. Yeah, okay, so this is a good example. So Domino here has a skill that increases its cooldown if I were to upgrade it. So my advice is don't upgrade skills that just increase damage. Upgrade the skills that gives you the percentage increase first. And this is significantly more important because the damage increase you see here from like 24 to 49, it's not that much because it relies very little on the skills stat itself and relies very heavily on this physical attack stat, which can be boosted in other means. So as much as possible, if you don't have the gold to do it, just level up the percentage based stats first. So I'm going to just simply level this up for you guys just to show. And as you can see, uh, it may be 2 or 3%, but this could make a significant difference. It could be an all attack boost. It could be something like increased invincibility from 3 to 4 seconds. So things like that will make a really big difference in your character and could really improve the way you use your character, even though it's for a small purpose like Shadowland. So you see like 30 to 40% chance of missing attack is really big because if you go to the max level, it could be 50, 60, 70, and 80, which will be really powerful for a character. 80% miss is like almost nearly always your enemy is going to miss, especially if you have a good amount of dodge. Like my domino has 50%, which is great. So yeah, that's something to take note of. So you try your best to get the skills that are only necessary leveled up. Don't level up everything if you don't want to. So like you see, this is 25 to 27% increase of all defense. I feel that I need this for my Colossus, so I'm going to level this up. If I feel that something like rough advance is, I already have immunity 4 seconds, there's no changes, it's still immunity 4 seconds, I'm not going to level this skill up. So these are things that I will do at the end, maybe when I've completed every other part. So what's next? After you got your skills going, you want to make sure that your character gears have been leveled up to at least plus 15. So any character that you have got to 6 star will automatically have their gears at plus 5. So what you got to do from this point is just click normal advance, and then you got to make sure you have sufficient amount of gear up kit. These are easily obtainable. Get them from any story mission. Just do your story mission for like whatever characters you feel is pretty good. The basic Avengers characters are okay. Captain Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, Black Widow, not so much. And then you could check the tier list for better characters. There are many of those online. So once you've got your gear up kits, just click max upgrade, and you gotta make sure that, oh sorry, you gotta use normal gear up kits. I think it's to 10, is it? I believe it's to 10. Yeah, and when you go above 10, you need to make sure you have dimension debris, which can be obtained by doing dimension rifts. So if you have these two, you can just max upgrade from plus 5. Just click upgrade and you'll take your gear straight to 15. So once you're at gear 15, in order to go from 15 to 20, this is where the struggle begins, because you need more biometrics of the character to continue. So how do you do this? Like, let's say my Colossus has 9 biometrics here. I'm going to normal advance. This is ridiculously difficult. You're going to click upgrade, and as you can see, it's going to crawl its way. So this is a percentage chance, which means the progress is a random percentage. This sounds really bad, and it is really bad. Sometimes you could only spend, just 3. Sometimes you could be spending like 300 just to get it up like 2 levels. Which is why this is going to be the worst part of leveling up your character, especially if you're farming for biometrics manually instead of using how can I say instead of using a biometric selector. So if you don't have the necessary biometrics, the best thing you can do is level up all the gears to plus 15. So go ahead, normal, advance, auto max upgrade, and just click the upgrade. It's going to put it all to plus 15. So once you've got your characters all at plus 15 and you've got the necessary skills done, go to your ISO-8. So what do you do with your ISO-8, right? So this is another cool thing. When you go to your ISO-8, the first thing you gotta look forward to is you click your set ISO-8. You'll notice there are a lot of little functions going on here. You see the word set bonus here. Uh, this is not really important here because when you click set ISO-8, you'll see it inside. Another thing is you'll see these three required ISOs. Just ignore everything you see here for now. When you start a character, you'll see a plus here as well to add a secondary slot. This is for people who want to customize the purpose of their character for different types of modes. It's not important as much because most characters can only clear like one or two modes in the game, and their focus is, I mean, their purpose is very much focused in this game, so they don't really have much, how can I put it, flexibility. And because of that, I suggest you don't even bother ever unlocking a second slot for this. Just click set ISO-8 and you'll come to this page. So here you'll see all the available ISO-8 that you have. How to get this, you can farm them from all sorts of missions. Epic quests have a lot of these. Co-op play will drop some of these. You could even get them, I think, from specific Shadowland floors. There are lots of ways to obtain them. But when you do have them, you gotta really cherish them. You gotta level them up patiently. Try not to level up those that are like ones or two stars. I always try to, delete my 1, 2 star, 3 stars sometimes even, and I try to keep those that are above that as much as possible so that I could spend less. And I will come to the enhancing in a bit. Before that, how to go about your ISO-8. So you click set bonus. First thing you do, you click all set bonus, and you will notice that you have the offense recommendations, the healer recommendations, and the technician recommendation. I will always advise you to go for your offense recommendation unless you specifically know that you want your character to be built differently. And what I mean by that is some characters like Colossus, um, they can do a lot of damage. So an offense recommendation will still help Colossus a lot. However, some players want to build their Colossus to be way tankier, so they just want a healer recommendation so that their character heals when they get hit, which is pretty good for Colossus because he lacks iframe, so he's going to get hit quite often. And his purpose is a tank, of, like a physical reflect tank. So getting something like stock backing or I am also Groot is pretty useful for him. The technician recommendation often gives you something like skill cooldown. It's not that great. You can click all and you can find something even better like protect the captain, or it gives you, sorry, not this one, binary power. It gives you the shield that is 32% of your max HP. This is a lot. If you have a Colossus with like 100k HP, 32 is going to give him an extra 30k, which is insane. And this is going to keep giving you the shield every 20 seconds when you get hit. So you could be running on infinite shields for the rest of the fight, which is pretty cool on binary power. But of course, there are certain characters that pierce shields, which is why most people don't even bother with shields and just go for something like Hawk's Eye, Power of Angry Hulk, Overdrive. These are the main three offensive recommendations in the game. So in order for you to roll one of these three, what you gotta do is click set bonus. The earlier you win the all set bonus, you click back the previous tab set bonus, click auto set change. Don't even bother clicking any of these three. Then Marvel should just remove this. They are purposeless. Make sure your yellow box is around the 8 ISO set bonus. Click roll 20 times and it's just going to keep rolling until it finds an 8 ISO set for you. And this is going to take you forever. It's going to cost you a lot. I recommend you save at least 10 million gold before you do this. Reason for that is because each roll is going to cost you 10,000. I mean, each roll costs you 10,000. So when your auto set change is going to roll 20 times, so that's 200,000. And let me tell you, the rolling 10 times is going to cost you about 2 million and sometimes more if you get the wrong sets. So as you can see, I have rolled it twice. I'm rolling it the third time. Nothing yet. The fourth time, let's just keep going first. I'll show you guys how long it takes. Nothing yet. The fifth time, so sometimes it could take you 10 times to do this, which is 2 million gold, sometimes even more than 2 million gold, which is why I recommend you to have at least 10 million gold in case you get frustrated and you just want to keep going. Because more than often what people do is that they lose sight of what they're looking for and they settle for something like Smart Raccoon and they're like, oh, it's okay, I'll come back later. This is a very bad idea. Don't do that. Just go for the set that you're looking for. Try not to stop at anything abruptly, which is why I don't want you to be running out of gold. So make sure you have a good amount of gold. And some people can be really lucky. The first roll you get exactly what you want, great, but it's not always the case. I've spent a lot trying to roll specific sets for specific characters, and it could take you quite a bit of time to do that. So I've already rolled this around 8 times. Let me just check. I have about 8 million goals, so I'm pretty good to go. I can keep going. So I'm just going to keep going to show you guys how difficult it is. Stock backing, also something that I don't really need on this character. Um, and that was pretty fast. It was like 3 rolls, I believe, in a single 20 time roll. So that was pretty decent. But I rolled it roughly a total of 8 times. I'm going for the ninth one. I got Smart Raccoon halfway, so I'm still going on the ninth roll. Let's just see. All right, nothing there. So I've rolled it the 10th time now. I've spent roughly 2 million gold already to try to get the ISO set that I want, and I still haven't found it. So this is why I'm telling you guys, as much as possible, have at least 10 million gold when you're doing this. I can tell you that the most I think I've spent is around 30 million gold to get Power of Angry Hulk, like specifically that one for a particular character. And why I do that is because, as you can see, there are certain stats here that are given for to the character by having the set active. And then there's another thing that says activation rate 12% chance when attacking, which is a special buff that your character also will perform. So sometimes you'll get something like all defense, and maybe I don't need that much all defense. Maybe I don't need cooldown duration because my character already has the sufficient amount of cooldown. So I would want to roll for a different type of offensive set. Set. What I mean by that is, okay, let's just look at Hawk's Eye and Power of Angry Hulk. Here we have dodge 8%. But maybe I don't need dodge because my Spider-Man's dodge is too high. So I want Power of Angry Hulk instead, so that I can get maybe crit rate, ignore defense. Or maybe I could get overdrive to get the same thing. But let me just tell you that most veterans will go for Power of Angry Hulk. The reason being is because you get 3 chaotic slots. And how is this an advantage? Chaotic ISOs allow you to have 2 stats, usually one offensive and one defensive stat. And by having chaotic, you could have HP all attack, which is what most people go for. Of course, it could be physical or energy attack, depends on your character, but they usually go for HP and then the offensive stat, which is why 3 of these is better than having 2 of these, because you get 2 stats in one of them. So that's the point of Power Angry Hulk. So we still haven't got it. I'm just going to keep rolling for the sake of the video, and then I'm going to explain to you guys what to do when you get the set that you want. So I've got a fantastic roll, the one I was telling you about, Power of Angry Hulk. So it cost slightly over 2 million gold, maybe 2.5 million, but that's pretty good for me. I'm taking it. So once you get a set like Power of Angry Hulk, what you want to do is you want to look for stats uh, on these ISOs, which are pretty straightforward for your character. So how to know what stats important? You go to your info on your character and you'll see that the first stat here is an attack stat, and it will not have physical and energy. It will just show you the stat that is the main stat of that character. And what I mean by this is Black Panther has physical attack as the main stat. Hela has energy attack as the main stat. If you go into the details, you will see both. Hela has physical and energy attack. However, all of Hela's skills are derived from her energy attack. So let's say she has a skill. This one does energy damage. It says off energy attack. Why is this important? It means that as long as you have energy attack equipped to her, it doesn't matter even if she deals physical damage, which some characters do. the damage is still taken from her energy attack. A good example of this is, let's see, do I have my Apocalypse? Yes, I do. So Apocalypse skills have certain abilities that give energy damage of energy attack, and then there's a skill over here that says physical damage of energy attack. So don't get confused. This is not physical attack. So if you go to the main character's info, he uses energy attack, which means that when you equip Iso-8 onto him, you have to make sure that you equip either all attack or energy attack. Do not equip physical attack to him accidentally just because you see that the skill has physical damage. So the physical damage is still based off his energy attack. So the best way to always be sure is just on the character's main screen, you will see the first attack stat here, which is energy attack. Just follow that and you will be fine. So once you've known that she uses energy attack, try not to use physical. You could use all attack, you could use energy attack, no difference there. So once you have got the ISOs you need, you just equip and then you plug them in. That's pretty much it. There's not too much to it. So once you've got the rest of these, which are pretty straightforward in, you just have to follow the matching colors, make sure one of them are there, each of them, and then you gotta find the chaotic ones that you want. So as you can see, the chaotic ISO has two stats, which is why it's more valuable, which is why Power of Angry Hulk takes precedence over the other two types of offensive sets. But if you have rolled another offensive set and you don't mind keeping it because maybe you don't have the right chaotic at the time, go ahead, because they don't have that many ISOs in difference. And what I mean by this is, if you see these two sets, the only difference is the vital ISO, and if you see these two sets, the only difference here is the powerful ISO. So you could just later swap out this one ISO for the chaotic at a later time when you find the chaotic that you need. So this is more important for veterans. New players, just find the ISOs that you need, just plug them in. And my advice, try to at least plug in a 3-star ISO. Don't put in a 1-star or anything like that. Just avoid it, because upgrading a 1-star ISO takes a lot of gold and resources, and upgrading a higher star ISO, despite seeming more expensive, takes less because you're doing it a less number of times. The only reason you want to upgrade a 1-star ISO, if you get like a stat like all attack HP, which is extremely rare. So what you want to do is you want to lock this up as quickly as possible and keep this upgraded, so that you know that later on you want to upgrade this all the way, because among chaotic ISOs they have such a random chance of getting what you want. You don't just want energy defense, you want something like HP, dodge, because all defense stat is not really as important as HP, or something like dodge if your character relies on dodge. But the best you can get is all attack HP. So if you get something like this, just lock it up, keep it safe. You can upgrade it all the way, that's fine. But if you have something like a 2-star or 1-star physical attack, all attack, just you could sell it off, and you could just wait until you get a 3 or 4-star drop and then use that. The patience is worth it, trust me. So once you have equipped all 8 slots, you will have a character that will activate a set bonus that looks something like this. So you will notice that this little icon here will be swirling and glowing like a heartbeat, and it will say set bonus activated, and then you will see the word stage 7. So what does this mean? So every character, depending on the quality of the ISO that you equip, because ISOs also have ranks, they have stars, they have masteries, depending on which you will have a stage set bonus activated. Is this important? For veterans, yes. For new players, not so much. What it really does is it improves the percentages that your set bonus provides. So as you can see, at stage 5, I'm getting the 77777.3. At stage 6, I'm getting something like 88888, and then at stage 7, I'm getting something like 8.5. And I think the best example I have is my gene here, which is at stage 12. You're getting something like 8.5, 7, 8.5, and then you get a plus 40%, which is pretty high for a character, which is something that you really want. So how this activation rate works is, as it says, 12% chance when you're attacking, you get a 40% increase of whatever stat. and then there'll be a cooldown time given. So the increase of all attack is the same for all the offensive set bonuses. The ones that are shown here is always the maximum level. So if you see it showing plus 40, it's always the stage 12 one. You don't see the something like a stage 6 shown over here. It's not stage 6. Stage 6 looks like this, plus 20%. So you can tell that it is quite a significant difference, 20% all attack. But it's not really important for new players. For new players, just try to get something fitted into your character as soon as possible. I know my Sharon Rogers looks sad, just don't ask me why. So yeah, just get it in. Once these things are already added to your character, you will get a massive stat boost over here. Your stats are going to get bumped way better, and the level 60 character that you thought was just okay is going to look like a pretty strong character after you've got this done. What's next? Once you've got your ISO-8s done, and you've got the skills that you wanted, and your gears are like at plus 15 at least, you want to get a custom gear on your character. So what are gears? You're probably going to have like a whole bunch of trash in your inventory. So let me just help you out. Let me just go quickly to, oops, I almost accidentally did that. Let's just go to special mission. Let me just clear, maybe just clear this quickly. You're not going to use my tickets. Quickly clear 10 stages to get some custom gear. Special mission are the best places for you to get XP chips, custom gear, as well as gear up kits, so you can go ahead and do this daily. If you have a dimension shifter, I recommend you to repeat it. If you have hidden tickets, I recommend you to use hidden tickets when you have as much boost points as possible, because boost points give you a chance to drop the bonus rewards, which is, you could get anything from a CTP of patience all the way to trash rewards like a 2-star rank up ticket. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, but that only triggers when you have more than 100%. But anyway, that's for another episode. I'll come back to that next time. So I'm just going to go back and show you, once you have a certain bunch of custom gears, what you want to do is you want to look for good stats on your custom gears. And what are good stats? So good stats are always important to take note that the one in the yellow is the permanent stat. It's going to be on your gear no matter how many times you upgrade it. Every other stat written on your gear will be changed or when you upgrade your gear. So they could end up random completely. So this is a good example of a gear. The fixed stat is guard break immunity, a very important stat. What is guard break immunity? So let's just go ahead and read the game guide, guys. What is guard break immunity? I believe it's in the skill. Should be somewhere here. Oh, it's the very first one. Fantastic. Guard break. So it's a skill that cancels out an enemy's skills. When an enemy uses the skill, trying to use a skill that has the guard break, it will not only block the opponent's skill, it'll give you opportunity to perform a counter attack. It may seem a little bit confusing at first, but essentially what it does is it gives you this ragdoll animation. When you get guard broken, your character's head is going to like bob back and forth, and their skills are going to get instantly cancelled. So a lot of characters, like I think more than 60% of the characters in the game have at least one guard break skill. So what you want to do to avoid that is have a gear with guard break immunity. And this is very important because you don't want to get ragdolled. It's okay to get damaged, but at least your character can fight back. But if you get ragdolled, it's over for you. There's no way you're gonna come out of it. It's like a perma stun. That's what it is. So try to get a gear with something like guard break immunity. You could also get gears with something good like ignore dodge. These are the critical damage. These are generally the good stats that you want. The top two I would recommend is guard break immunity, ignore dodge. These are the main two. If you want something very specific like recovery rate or max HP, go for it. If you manage to upgrade a gear that rolled guard break on another one of its stats but has two good main stats, keep it. It's pretty good. As long as you have guard break on any one of the stats, it's pretty good. But if you see any smaller gear, like a new gear that has something like ignore dodge or guard break, go ahead and lock that gear right away, and then you could just tick the quick upgrade, or you could click enhance and you could just select the ones that you don't want. My recommendation is just lock the ones that you want to save. You just tick the quick upgrade, click the quick upgrade, and just go ahead and it will just keep upgrading for you. So you just do this until your gear is at least a red gear, and once it's red, try to get as many stats as you want on the gear. The best stats you can get is always guard break is the main one. The secondary stats, a good one is increased damage for one attack. This is very good for you to get essentially what we call a proc. And what you do is right before you trigger the skill that does the most damage, your gear will light up on the buffs of your character. And I'll show you what that looks like. So some players don't know what it is yet, so I'll just show you like I think my Quicksilver has CDPF energy. Okay, so let's say I go to no, you know what, it's better if I go to a mission. So let's say I go something to like a story mission, right? I'm gonna just go to this one. Let me just start. So of course I'm using a CTP, which is really powerful gear. What is a CTP? I'll come to that in a bit, but I'll just show you. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. I'll just show you what a proc looks like. So let me just remove the autoplay. Let me switch to Quicksilver. So you can see up here I have the custom gear being shown. So you could just mouse over and click your stat, and you'll be click your icon here, and this is your custom gear being shown to you. So let me just perform a skill and it will light up. So when it lights up, the next skill I perform will have increased damage for one attack. So let's just do that again. Once it lights up, I perform a skill, and that particular skill is having the increased damage. That's usually how it works. So you can see it lights up. I'm going to perform the skill, and essentially that skill has increased damage. So that's all you need to know about the way on how increased damage works on a gear. So yeah, you need to have guard break. You can get the increased damage. And as for the third stat, just try to get something generally good, like maybe max HP, crit damage. You could go for ignore, dodge. Any one of these stats are generally good for your character, so try to get them on your gear. So once you have that on your gear, go ahead and equip your gear, and you pretty much have a character with a good gear. That's essentially what you need to know. What is a CTP? A CTP is a premium gear, right? It's not something that that's that easy to obtain. It's also a 6-star gear, but it's essentially premium because there are very few ways to obtain a CTP. How do you obtain a CTP? You gotta go to the store, you gotta gamble in the store to try to get your chance at getting a CTP. You could drop it if you're lucky from special missions and you have a lot of boost points. You could get it from Epic Quests, I believe. Sorry, is it Epic Quest? Legendary Battle, yes. You could get it from Legendary Battle. I think you could get from special missions if you do specific criteria in the quest pack. I believe it's this one. Yeah, you could get it by doing that. You could get it by playing the Legendary Battle, which you have to buy a package for, and then some of them will give you something like this. You can get a CTP of energy if you have a mythical uniform of said character, blah blah. So yeah, that's how you get a CTP. Don't rush into CTPs, those are really endgame. They do change your character quite a bit, but don't simply get them because they don't work the same on every character. Each character has a unique requirement for a CTP. They have a different kind of synergy with it. So not every CTP goes well with every character. You gotta read through the character, you gotta understand your character, and only then you gotta decide which character is good for which CTP. So before you go that far, I suggest you just go with a simple custom gear, any custom gear that you could get your hands on, and then just plug it into your character. And like for my Wolverine, this one seemed to work. I didn't need the cold damage, but I just needed the snare increased damage so I could use him in Alliance Battle Extreme. So I just kept this. I was like, I'm fine, I don't want to do too much of this character for now, so I'm good with this. Go ahead. Later when you get a CTP, you can just replace this gear completely, and it's not so bad because unplugging a CTP is really expensive. I believe it's like 600 crystals or something. 600 crystals, yes, crazy expensive. So don't make that mistake. If you want to unequip a custom gear, it's about the same price, so better you just put a cheap gear and then replace it later with the CDP once you have fully understood your character. So if you're a new player and you don't know much about the game, don't rush into it. Just put in whatever custom gear that has the good stats, leave it there. So now we've covered quite a bit. We've got your skills done, we've got your ISO-8, we've got your custom gear. Should we go to uniforms? Well, let me just tell you that in Marvel Future Fight, the game is very much about you spending crystals. Crystals are a very important currency in the game. As you can see, you have energy, which is your everyday currency, your gold, and then your crystals. Crystals are like, they run like water in this game. It's very easy to obtain them, it's very easy to lose them, and the store has tons of ways for you to get crystals. So you could often get frustrated and spend a lot of crystals. My suggestion is, if you don't have much self-control, don't play this game, because it's gonna really drain your wallet, because this game has its ways of frustrating you. But if you're a person who has good self-control or you have a big wallet, go ahead, you'll be absolutely fine. So when you're getting a uniform, you have to know why you're getting it. Are you getting it merely for cosmetic reasons? Don't. That's not a good idea unless you really have a lot of crystals to spare. If you're really getting a uniform, you have to get it for a very specific purpose, and to make sure you know what you're doing, check the uniform effect. Is it really helping the character? Because some uniforms really change the character and some don't. So if you're not sure, I suggest you go and look for a uniform tier list. You could find that from Cynic Alex's master list. You could go to the Reddit, Future Fight. They have a lot of uniform tier lists. You could study through them, decide if you really like the character, you really want the uniform, and then you can go ahead and purchase one of the uniforms. And you could also get the uniform for a, how can I put it, uh, a kind of achievement based purpose. And what I mean by that is my Hellas mythic uniform. I got this uniform purely for the rewards in the legendary battle. Let me show you. So if you go to the Thor Ragnarok, which is the oldest legendary battle in the game, the last mission, the bonus rewards for it, for owning the mythical Hela uniform, it gives you a CTP of energy. So I got this purely for this purpose. I by no means want to have a Hela, and I only completed this very recently. So if you don't really want to focus on that character, you could purchase the uniform when you have an abundance of crystal, and you could just spend time playing the game like normal, keeping Hela in the team, and you repeat your missions, farming her biometrics, and then eventually leveling her up to mythic and get the main reward that you want, which is your CTB of energy. And I got a pretty good roll on it as well. I'm pretty impressed. I got a 30 200%, which is pretty insane. So it's a really lucky roll, I would say. So yeah, otherwise don't simply purchase a uniform until you've really studied about it, because they cost a lot of crystals. Back then when the game started, uniforms used to cost like a 760 crystals. Now they cost 1050 in base, and they're going with that. There are characters with even more expensive uniforms, if the character is like super powerful or something like that. Like I believe Jean and Thanos' uniforms cost way more. Like, let me just show you this one. It says 2.5. I think during discount it's 1,750. That's another thing. Always buy your uniforms only during a discount. Do not buy your uniforms like right now, because right now there's no discount going on. The ones that have a discount going on will show up in the store. You can go to uniform, recommended, or you can even click all, and then you'll see that some of these new uniforms. Oh, is the discount over? Oh man, the discount is over. So yeah, some of the uniforms will have something like this with the slash and then the new price of the uniform. So now they have introduced this thing called synergy uniforms. I'm not really a fan of it, forcing people to buy two uniforms when they do the same thing. It's not like there's any game mode where you're going to be using two different uniforms right now, so I don't really see the point in it. This could be something good in the future if they can give maybe the character two different classes. Like if I were to put, like maybe a a Venom suit on Spider-Man, he becomes combat. And maybe I put the Future Foundation suit on Spider-Man, he becomes speed. Maybe I put the futuristic uniform or something on Spider-Man and it becomes blast type. Yeah, then maybe it makes sense. Synergy makes sense because it's changing the way the character's type is. So his meta is completely different. You know, you could use him in different types of alliance battle stages, different Shadowland. Then I would appreciate the whole synergy, but right now I don't. So that's just my opinion of it. But anyway, that's that. So you got your uniform done. You got your character pretty pumped up. What's next? Well, let me just tell you, you can get their gears up to 20. That's what you gotta try to do. Try to slowly farm for their biometrics. You know, that's pretty much the grind. And then you gotta get them to 20. And then you could also do something in the side, like, you know, leveling up your Iso-8s. You could probably re-roll your gear if you need to upgrade your skills. So these are the things that you got to do to make sure your character is mostly done. You can level up your uniform, which is also pretty good. When you level up your uniform, you'll also see this thing called a uniform option. And in your uniform option, you will see something such as you know, new options will be available if you have that uniform. So it will show you what uniform you can purchase, and it will give you a stat such as this. You can change that stat. It will have a limited option for you to change the stat. So once you get something that's reasonably good, like skill cooldown or attack speed or dodge, just keep it. It's pretty much all you gotta do. It's not too detailed. Don't have to worry too much about the nitty-gritty points in the stat unless you're a real veteran and you're grinding for like the rank 1 character or something. Other than that, it's okay. Just leveling up the uniform will give you a good attack boost. That's pretty much all you need. So you have the rest of these. You've got your character to get 20, you've got your ISOs pumped up, your skills are completed. What's next? Advancement. How to advance the character. So these are, as it says, the materials that you need to advance the character. My advice is some characters have a 75 biometrics requirement. Some other characters have a 150. And then some of them are tier 2 native characters. So I will come back in another episode on what native tier 2s are and how to do tier 3s. But for now, if you see a character that is a 75 or less, like Captain America, I think was 50, something like that. If you get these characters, just try to farm them. Don't use your advancement tickets and waste them, because you know, you could save your advancement tickets for characters that need maybe 150 bios, which is pretty hard to farm. And maybe the characters bios are pretty hard to get. Like, you gotta get selectors for them specifically. They're not farmable in like a mission or something. Yeah, go ahead and use your ticket on those. Don't simply use your ticket on someone like Captain America, you know. Just farm them up, and as you can see, you will eventually have an abundance of black antimatter and chaos non-stones that you can easily acquire from doing world boss missions. So don't spend too much of those um, on, you know, the characters that require more, because some characters they require more black antimatter and more chaos non-stones. For those characters you could just use your tickets. How to get these advancements tickets? They're login rewards. You could get them from logging in once a month, I think, and then also some events will allow you to get them as drops, which is pretty good. So yep, that's about it. You'll advance your character, and then when you do that, you will get a tier 2 character. At tier 2, you will get a massive stat boost to your character, but it will only matter if you have previously equipped your character properly well with their skills, their ISOs, their custom gear, and all of that. And then you'll see that their stats are like insane now. They can do a lot more missions, they can clear higher stages in World Boss. That's pretty good. You've got your character pretty much done, you've got them to tier 2. That's pretty much what you need to do. And this is the basic guide for new players. I'm going to later tell you what to do when you get to a character that is fully tier 2. You will be able to get an option which is known as realize potential. Do I have one? Yeah, you will see something like this, which is realize potential, search for potential and realize potential. So I will come back on how to do that once you've got your tier 2 characters completely. And that's it from me for this episode. I hope you guys got a lot of information from what you needed, especially for new players, because More than often, these guides get updated from time to time, so there are things in the game that change, but the gist of it is the same. So most of the guides would have given you the same amount of information. I just tried to give you guys an easier way to just listen to me and understand, in case you just needed to hear it from someone on what to do next. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll come back for another video on what to do from tier to tier 3. But for now, just try to get your tier, your basic 1-star characters up to 6 stars, full mastery, and then eventually get them to tier 2. And then after that, there are so many other things, so don't get overwhelmed. Step by step is the best way. So yep, that's about it from me. I'm just gonna pump up my Hydro Man here, secretly using chips. As you can see, I'm saving my level 5 EXP chips because I do take these guys into repeat missions, and that will help me quite a bit. Right now I'm repeating these guys because I can level up their uniforms, but now that I'm done with my Hela, I could probably drop one of these in. So maybe I'll drop Hydroman in, I don't know, something like that. So yeah, that's about it. I'll come back with native tier 2s and going to tier 3 next time. So that's it from me, guys. Adios.